What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with another upload. Going back live very soon, people. Club football is commencing again. Can't wait. I've enjoyed the break. Don't get me wrong, but I miss club football. I miss seeing Leeds United play, so that would be a welcome return. But this is going to be probably the last upload until the football returns again. So please hit a like on this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Drop your comments below. Now, I will be touching on Angus Kinnear's conversation with the square ball at the end of this video. Just a couple of thoughts I had on that. But wow, Jamie Shackleton. I mean, look, if you had told me a year ago I'd be talking about a potential new contract for Jamie Shackleton, I would have called you crazy. But here we are. Here we are. Crazy. That's what I'm saying. In football, things change all the time. It's absolutely mad. But this is where we are, people. Phil Hay, let's get straight into it. Phil Hay put out his article today. I think it's more of an opinion piece, but when I see these things, I feel like they're opinion pieces slash they're feelers. I feel like the club have maybe said, hey, throw this out and see what the Leeds fans think about Shackleton getting a new contract. That's just me. That's just me. But Phil Hay has spoken about Jamie Shackleton. And he put when the summer started, you would have put money on Jamie Shackleton leaving Leeds United, but he always catches it. But he always catch the eye in pre-season and was a breath of fresh air for Daniel Farker, committed and itching to play. Time for a new deal. Now, I want to go with there's pros and there's cons to this, and I'm just going to make the points of my thoughts on this, and I want to get your thoughts below. I'm sure there's a lot of you that say sign him up, but we need to exercise caution for me with this. Now, don't get me wrong here. Jamie Shackleton so far has been he's been good. I've had more streams after the games talking about how good he's been in his general work. We're always going to get work rate from him. That's not a problem, but that should be a standard for any player. But when I'm seeing comments like he's going to be James Milner or Stuart Dallas, it's like, hey, calma, pump the brakes. And the reason why I say that, first of all, James Milner, let's not even go there. This is a 20-year vet, 20-year plus year vet, Premier League winner, Champions League winner, proven all over the place. He is a Swiss Army knife in the best sense of the word. He can play anywhere. And it's too much to say he can be like James Milner. James Milner was doing way more at 23 what Jamie Shackleton is right now than what Shackleton's done so far. And even if you want to go to a Stuart Dallas example, who didn't have the best final season when he played, when you're talking about what Stuart Dallas gave us, he gave us not only did he play in every position, he was clutch in a lot of games. He was coming up with key assists, goals, and people can talk about the Premier League season where there was no fans there. And I do get that there is an asterisk on that, but he was clutch in that. Never Man City game alone, he got 8 goals that season. So before we start anointing him the next Dallas, the next James Milner, we need to just step back a little because look, we've been in this position before at Leeds United. It's been a constant theme with the previous ownership where a player has a good few games, the fans get excited, they're all like, "Wow, this is it, man! He's going to be this." But let's not forget he has just come back from a very underwhelming loan spell at Millwall, but let me not take anything away. He's doing well now. And the positive for Jamie Shackleton is no one cares about that Millwall spell anymore because you're doing well at Leeds United now. And opposition fans can hate it as much as they like. It's true. When you do well at Leeds United, it has more currency than anything. You could have had a bad spell at a club previously, but if you do well at Leeds, it holds weight. It absolutely holds weight. You got more eyes on you, more people are watching you. If you do well here, you'll be linked with other moves away. That's just the way it goes. And there was talk, Phil Hay talks about he was close to probably moving to Glasgow Rangers in the summer. So he had options to go. He has a year left on his deal. Do I think at this time we should be offering him a new contract? No, I don't. And I'm going by this. I just want the new regime to learn from old mistakes. And that is just because a player has a good couple of games doesn't mean they're worth a new contract. We've done this too many times. The most recent ones are obviously Jack Harrison, who the club wanted to tie down after the failed move to Leicester. He gets a new contract after, 4 good games, and then he goes quiet again after inactivity after the first transfer window was closed. It's like, do we not learn? Then Luke Ayling gets his year extension. And it's like, oh my God. And it was after 2 games against Man United in which he performed okay. He was still at fault for a goal where Jadon Sancho ran and Luke Ayling just stopped running. Jadon Sancho, who's done nothing. Jadon Sancho. So this is what I'm trying to say. I don't want them to go early. I want them to take their time with it. Let's see how he goes over a bigger sample of games. Let's see how he does, because this is the reminder, people. Even though he's doing well so far, let me say this: he's doing well. This is the key here. He's played 4 games, 4 league games. This is not counting the Carabao Cup games. He's played 4. It's way too early for me to be talking about a new contract for a player that was almost out the door this summer. Now you could say that this could be like a Mateus Click thing where he was almost out the door and then he came up clutch for us for a couple of years. I get all those comparisons, but I just feel like we should hold fire because if we was to look, let's just say we lost Jamie Shackleton next summer. I don't think we're going to look back at it with regret and say, damn, we should have kept Jamie Shackleton, man. Look what he's doing now. But if we do sign him to a long-term contract and he doesn't perform the way he's performing right now, we'll be stuck with that deal like we have been with so many others. So it is in the best interest for me, for Leeds United and Jamie Shackleton as well, to keep doing what they're doing and maybe review at a later date. Because what I also envision as well is, if we, let's just say we are promoted to the Premier League, does he start any games? I don't think so. And if he does, I would say we're probably going to be in the same position we was the last 2 years of our Premier League, of our second Premier League stint. And also as well, I get all the thing as well about he's got a good attitude, good character, he loves the club and all that, all that passion merchant stuff. But I look at it another way. And as you can imagine, people, but I look at it another way in that he's 23 now. He's going to be 24 in early October. Does he want to commit to a club where he's not going to be a first choice, where he's seen as someone that can just plug in the gaps? Is that what he wants at 23 years old? And I liken it to a couple of other examples I can think off the top of my head with Rob Holding at Arsenal. He's just left to go Crystal Palace this summer. Why would you be content with staying on the bench? I know you got a big affinity with the club. I get it, but you're 23. You're in your good years now. You should be looking for first team football in your primary position. And if you can't get that here, use this platform to get a move elsewhere. You know. And also, I look at another one, Nat Phillips, 26. Okay, gone out on loan to Celtic finally. Why? What is it about those characters where they're so happy just to sit on the bench? See, people think that's a good attitude. I think of it as, you've done all this hard work to get to being a professional footballer, and at that early age, you want to just sit on a bench. I don't know. So I don't think it's as simple as Jamie Shackleton's just going to sign a new deal and accept being a bench player. But when you look at it on all these positions he can play, he's got Jed Spence in front of him now. I'd put him ahead of Luke Ayling at right back if he wants to play there. He's going to have Firpo and Byram as competition at left back. Midfield is pretty stacked now with Ampadu, Archie Gray, Glenn Kamara, Gruev. We're stacked there too. So it's like when he gets an opportunity, he's going to have to impress. But is that going to satisfy him? And I see people as well talking about, yeah, I'd offer him a 2-year contract. I mean, that's all idealistic, but Jamie Shackleton probably doesn't want to just commit for 2 years. He'll probably want 3 or 4, maybe even 5, but more likely 3 or 4. It's idealistic for the fans to say give him a 2-year deal. It's no harm, but football just doesn't work like that. But it will be interesting. I just don't know. And there is a way. Let me just say this as well. There is a way that if he keeps performing like this and he does sign a new deal, that when we do go up and we're signing players that we should have been signing in our last Premier League stint, that there is a way that he can get another move away. You know what I mean? If he continues to perform like this, but then Leeds say, look, we're going to be signing this player, that player, you're probably not going to get any game time. I don't think the contract will be an anchor in that way. Listen, there's pros and cons with it, but I just don't want Leeds United to shoot the gun too quickly on this, because I just learn from past mistakes. That's just my thoughts on it. Okay, that's my thoughts on it right now. So listen, put your thoughts below and what you think. Is he worthy of a new contract now, or would you wait Would you just wait until, let's just say, January? Would you wait until January, until there's 6 months left on his deal, and revise it then? Let me know in the comments below. Now, the Angus Kinnear square ball conversation, I'm not going to dedicate a whole video to that. I just wanted to take a couple points from it. And listen, shout out to the square ball guys. They did their jobs. That's all they can do. They can't force answers out of people. I saw some criticism for them in terms of not drilling more. What people have to understand is when you do those kind of things, you can't go at the people, because then they'll just tell you, all right, it's over. They'll cut it off. So shout out to them. They got what they got from Angus Kinnear. There was just a couple of points that I wanted just to talk about, or just quickly brush over. And that was the comment about not realizing how much the players wouldn't want to play in the championship. I just thought that was very naive. I thought it was very fan-like. It was very Leeds United fan-like. And I'm not saying Leeds United fans. I'm talking about he spoke like a fan that just thought that because he's coming down with Leeds United, that the players just want to stay here. I thought it was very naive that a CEO that's in and around a football club day in, day out doesn't get the landscape of current modern day footballers, where if you're signed for a Premier League project, you're likely not going to want to stay in the championship. It I just don't get how he was so blindsided by that. I was very surprised by that. The other thing was the other comment as well about taking jibes at Bournemouth and Everton. Again, for me, that sounded like football fans. It sounds like comments I receive. And that's not disparaging anyone, but he was talking like he doesn't understand the Premier League pool. I mean, he did allude to it a couple of times, but then he said about Sheffield United, possibly who's going to be more likely to be in the Premier League over the next 5 years, Leeds or Sheffield United. It's going to be Leeds. Well, on this current evidence right now, we are in the championship. Sheffield United have every chance of surviving. The bottom of the Premier League this season is bad. It's bad. I wish we were still there now, because I think we would have survived again this year with how bad some of the teams are at the bottom. But to just assume that we're going to be back, and I would love him to be right. Don't get me wrong, but he was talking more from a fan point of view. Now, listen, I know it's easy to play to the gallery of Leeds United fan, talk to the passion in them and all that, but I just thought the comments like that just don't help, because the reality is, from mistakes that you and everyone previously made, we won't know that until we get promoted again, because of mistakes that you guys made. It's all well and good saying Everton are going to be in a precarious position. Why would you want to go so hard for Bournemouth? But the Premier League teams right now, whereas we're setting up for a game against Millwall this week, that's the reality. And I was just very surprised that he spoke like that. I just feel like it does something for some fans. I get it. It speaks to the passion merchants, but for the fans that are aware of what's going on here and now, what it takes to get out of this league and realize it's not going to be easy, it's like, come on, man. And obviously, with certain questions, he was going to circle around and not get to the point of the answer. But anybody that's worked in PR or worked with guys like him, the drill with these kind of guys. You know what I mean? They'll go around until they get to some kind of answer. Even when you try and get them back in, they'll go around the other way until they get some kind of answer. That's just the way it is. And yeah, I just thought that I thought the square ball guys did the best job that they could with it. But now it's time to focus on this all now and see what we are going forward post the international break, and put that horrible chapter behind. Because when you look at it, apart from the 9th place finish, it was a disaster of a second spell in the Prem. It was an absolute disaster. So let's try and get back up now, do things right with the new ownership, and see what happens. But let's see what happens. People, I'm gonna leave it on that note. I will be back with a live stream very soon. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, drop your comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know your thoughts on anything discussed today, whether it was the Kinnear comments or the Jamie Shackleton stuff. Yeah, let me know, people. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.